Welcome! Today we will be discussing the National Guard Senior Leader OCONUS travel process. Things we'll be discussing throughout this presentation are the purpose, who this applies to, the Reserve Senior Leader Visit Program, travel status, travel for civilians, leave, and mil-air, documents required for travel, travel for spouses, the coordination process, the approval process, a GKO walkthrough, and finally, your points of contact. The purpose of this presentation is to explain the process for National Guard senior leaders to include your general officers, senior executive service personnel, and civilian equivalents that will be traveling outside the United States and/or territories. This presentation applies to all National Guard senior leaders traveling OCONUS on official business on behalf of the National Guard. The Reserve Senior Leader Visit Program is a U.S. CENTCOM commander-sponsored program. This program is designed for distinguished visitors such as general officers, flag officers, and senior enlisted leaders to visit the reserve component members serving in the U.S. CENTCOM AOR. For this type of travel, you would need to contact the GOMO office. When military members travel outside the continental U.S. on official business, they must be in a Title X status and also on a continuous order. Civilians traveling outside the continental U.S. on official business must be a member of the Title V workforce, while all other civilians working in an official capacity overseas must comply with their parent agency's process if the travel cannot be paid for through National Guard Bureau appropriated funds. General officers on Title X for less than 30 days are not authorized to take leave in conjunction with TDY because members do not accrue leave until 31 days. However, if a member is on personal vacation and called to perform Title X duties, the member will be allowed to travel from their current location to their place of duty and back to the location of which the TDY originated. They will be authorized regular travel expenses to include M&IE, per diem, and lodging expenses during their travel. However, the member will not be authorized airfare back to the U.S. at the end of their military duty. To request mil-air for OCONUS travel, a DD Form 2768 must be completed. Once complete, it will be approved by the rank above the requesting senior leader. For example, an A tag must be approved by the tag, and the tag approval is done by the Chief of National Guard Bureau, but is delegated to the Director of Staff. Required documents for travel include a detailed daily agenda, a formal invitation or letter of justification for the senior leader to travel overseas, a justification of travel that is submitted within less than 30 days' notice. An APACS request must be completed and approved before final approval. A DD Form 2768 or the SATO flight itinerary must be included in this travel packet. Spouse travel is not normally permitted. However, the Chief of National Guard Bureau may approve the spouse to travel at government expense on a case-by-case basis. The spouse must be participating in an official capacity or in a capacity that is in the best national interest for diplomatic or public relations. The spouse travel must be supported by an invitational travel authorization. The following offices that the travel packet will be coordinated through are Office of the Chief of Staff, Joint Staff Travel Policy Section, National Guard Bureau J2, National Guard Bureau J5, National Guard Bureau JA, Joint Staff Chief of Staff for final approval or recommendation for approval, Vice Chief National Guard Bureau, or Chief of National Guard Bureau. The Chief of National Guard Bureau will approve all GO spouse travel requests. The Vice Chief National Guard Bureau will also approve the use of mil-air to OCONUS locations for the Director of the Army National Guard, the Director of the Air National Guard, and the National Guard Bureau Director of Staff. Also, State National Guard officials to include the governor and lieutenant governors when they are traveling on official National Guard business. The Vice Chief of National Guard Bureau will approve the tag use of mil-air for OCONUS travel when the National Guard Bureau Director of Staff is not available. The National Guard Bureau Director of Staff will approve tag or National Guard Senior Leader OCONUS travel. Any disapproval must be coordinated through the Vice Chief of National Guard Bureau. The Chief of Staff National Guard Bureau will approve National Guard Senior Leader OCONUS travel not to include tag mil-air and spouse travel. The Chief of Staff will coordinate with the Chief of Staff, National Guard Bureau, Vice Chief, National Guard Bureau, and National Guard Bureau Director of Staff as appropriate. All National Guard senior leader travel must be projected at the National Guard Bureau weekly operations and intelligence briefings. Now we will do a GKO walkthrough. First, you will navigate to the GKO website. In the top left-hand corner, you will notice a small group of squares. Click on them. This will bring up a few icons for you to choose from. You will select the National Guard Joint Staff icon. From here, you will be brought to the Joint Staff landing page. On the left side of the screen, you will see a column of buttons to select. We will be selecting Senior Leader OCONUS Travel for the sake of this video. You should land on the National Guard Senior Leaders Travel page. Keep in mind, the links will direct you to sites that we at National Guard Bureau do not maintain or control, but they are links you may need. Across the center of the screen, there is a row of buttons. In this demonstration, we will be selecting the button labeled Travel Request Form. Next, you will be brought to a Documents page. Because we will be submitting a new request, we will select the new hyperlink in the right-hand corner of the screen. A blank National Guard Senior Leader Travel Request Form or National Guard Bureau Form 402 will populate for you. Please make sure to fill out all applicable areas accurately, as incorrect information will slow the approval process. Once you have filled out all the information on the NGB Form 402, make sure to click Submit. Voila! You have completed the National Guard Bureau Form 402. This is an example of a detailed agenda. This will have the purpose of the Senior Leaders Travel, OCONUS, a brief summary of the TDY, and finally, day-to-day information to include times, locations, and the uniform of the day. While the agenda is being completed, make sure to annotate any stops that are for official travel. If a layover is a part of the member's flight itinerary, make sure to annotate that information. Here is a blank copy of Military Air Passenger Cargo Request, or a DD Form 2768. You will select the priority level of the travel accordingly, and from there, you will complete all other applicable information accurately. This is an example of the information that is provided for the weekly CNGB report. Here, you will see that Major General Richard Hayes from Tennessee is expected to be in France from 4 October to 9 October, and the reason for his visit is a ceremony and a historical visit. Here are the references that have been used throughout this presentation. CNGBI 0800.02 Alpha, United States Army Policy, Army Directive 2017-05, the Joint Travel Regulation, Air Force Instruction 24-101, DODI 4515.13 for air transportation eligibility, the DODD 4500.56 for the use of government aircraft, Central Command Regulation 55-2. Keeping these references readily available will be very helpful throughout this process.